Ruben. Great to see you. I know you've been a road warrior these last several weeks or so, but I'm looking forward to getting caught up and especially learning more about the Wallet Interoperability Council that you launched recently. So anxious to dig in, and thanks so much for taking the time.
No, thank you as always, Karen.
So let me give a little bit of a background. So the Wallet Interoperability Council is something that you have organized. It will use TerraPay's technology to make mobile wallets interoperable for cross-border transactions, starting with 5 major mobile wallet operators serving regions like Bangladesh, Colombia, Kenya, Senegal, Tanzania, and Uganda. That's the platform, the foundation. How did the idea get started? How long have you been thinking about this, and why these 5 countries?
Interoperability has been part of the DNA of TerraPay since day one. Today, we are serving more than 100 wallets, and we are connecting them for cross-border transactions, mainly in the receive side. This council that we are announcing in reality is a collaboration framework with 5 wallets that represent Africa, South Asia, and Latin America. There are more wallets that are coming and joining this advisory board. The purpose of this is that even though we have been developing an amazing technology that is facilitating transactions between wallets to wallets, bank accounts and wallets, etc., we still need to develop important technology to interconnect and facilitate other type of use case and transactions. So we need to have the support of this advisory council to help us develop the right technology and the right operations model to be able to clear and settle and facilitate all these transactions at a massive scale. We have huge respect for, the technology and the architecture and the user experience that all our partners has been building in their domestic space. But the reality is that today it's very easy to travel with a piece of plastic, but it's very difficult to travel with a piece of software. And so we want to enable these wallets to be able to provide the same user experience and the same sort of payment capabilities when they travel abroad. And that is a gigantic task, and that's why we require the support and all the help and the collaboration from the wallets and understand how their technology, interact with our technology for these new use cases.
We've seen consortia be successful in other areas of payments where there's a mutual benefit without necessarily creating competition or conflicts of interest across the various participants. But they're challenging, right? Because everybody brings a different perspective and a different user base and a different set of requirements and regulations. We'll get to that in a little bit. How are you managing all of the disparate interests to actually move the interoperability platform forward? What does each advisory member need to commit to in order to make it successful?
The first thing that we are taking is that we are not being very prescriptive from TerraPay point of view in terms of the technology. We're starting with the consumer pain points. We're starting by understanding the different technology that exists at the different wallet operators. And from there, we're going to start trying to build some standard common language around how we're going to manage this type of transactions. Of course, there are some other legal and regulatory approvals that each wallet will need to obtain in order to operate in a cross-border environment. And that is also part of the ongoing discussions, how we're going to get this vision of, making wallets seamlessly interconnecting by complying also with the local regulators and the international laws, etc. But the real challenge is also, how we're going to provide the same user experience that the consumer has having in their own markets when they travel abroad. No, that's from the pay by wallet sort of use cases. But the other is how we're going to interconnect wallet to wallet in a cross-border environment. Today, we are doing that. We support more than 10 wallets that, have the capacity or the capability to send and receive from the same container. And we want to expand that. But as we expand that, we need to understand how clearing, settlement, and the entire operating model will happen.
So this sounds more like a network than a council. I mean, the council are the representatives that will come together to define the standards, the protocols, and acceptance, which obviously we talk about cross-border, we're talking about acceptance and usability, but it really is technology that really creates the network, the clearing and settlement, and the accessibility for the wallets today that are part of it, and the wallets that will join, certainly as this becomes more established.
That's correct. We believe that in TerraPay we have all the pieces and all the building blocks to support this effort. The question is how the different wallets will consume this technology in a way that is seamless and allows this transactionality and this interconnectivity to happen. It's a complex task, but we love complex tasks.
Well, I mean, and you come from an environment where you understand global networks. Your work at Visa, certainly you understand global networks, the power of global networks, as well as the complexity of delivering the right incentives, also the right outcomes for those who are a part of it. What are some of the top of mind issue for the 5 wallets who are part of the council today? Obviously, interoperability is important, but what are the things that they want to preserve that make their wallets unique, at the same time give them the ability to scale?
I believe it's all about us not imposing a specific way to operate. I mean, we need to agree in the minimum standards and in the middle meaningful protocols. But if you take the comparison to the payment networks, every issuer has their own user experience, their own capability, their own way of operate. But at the end of the transaction in the POS, those transactions are bits and bytes in a very powerful network that both MasterCard, Visa, Amex has been building for the last 60 years. In the 90s, I don't know if you recall, but you used to go to a specific merchant, and the merchant may have 7 or 10 different POS machines, and that creating horrible inefficiencies for the payment networks at that time. So looking for interoperability at the acquiring side and allowing the acquirer to accept agnostically multiple brands, creating amazing efficiencies, not only for the merchant, but also for the consumer and for everybody in the ecosystem. We are big believers that in interoperability, everybody wins, but the biggest winner is the consumer, because the consumer is transporting and using these capabilities that exist in this piece of software everywhere they want to use it. So it's a very challenging task to go and build something that the networks took 60 years to build, but the conditions exist out there and the scale exists out there to build it.
What about these 5 wallet providers that wanted to be early adopters? Were there pain points? Were they thinking about this individually and see the ability to come together and get something done more quickly and with a standard way of thinking, not only from a technology standpoint, but a regulatory standpoint? Why those 5?
I believe it's more about the willingness to come and collaborate immediately and help us build these new solutions. We are all driven by the same vision that, we believe that the wallets will continue to be an important payment and financial tool, growing to 6-7 billion during the next couple of years. And we believe that the biggest, I will say, roadblock for international expansion is basically interoperability. So there is a common interest in trying to understand how TerraPay's technology can complement their efforts in looking for international expansion, both in payments and money movement. And we have a very close relationship. Amber, our CEO, and Annie, who manage our commercial efforts, they have been very closely working with these wallets during the next few years. And this question has been always in our mind: how we're going to help our partners to maximize their install capacity and maximize their user experience and provide more utility to their wallet users. So it's a common interest in seeking this interoperability. And we are all big believers, and there are more wallets coming to the council. But we are all big believers that with collaboration we all win, and we really believe that nobody has out there all the skills or the capacities, all the technologies to solve for this. This is a big issue, and it would require a lot of collaboration for make this vision fulfilled.
Ruben, fast forward a couple of years and technology is established. We've got the interoperability. We've got these 5 guys, 5 more, 5 more, 5 more. So we've got lots of people collaborating. What is that going to do to innovation in the wallet space, in your opinion? As you think about the ability now for wallets to become more than just a domestic payment instrument, as well as lots of other things that wallets will do. Give me a sense of how you think innovation will flourish as a result of what you're doing.
Well, we believe that in terms of network, in the next couple of years, we are envisioning all our wallets who are participating in the network being willing to also leverage the interoperability and interconnectivity somehow. And we are actually acting more like a switch on all these transactions and providing all these different use cases. Wallets, the most attractive aspect of wallets is the multi-rail capability, meaning in the same digital container, you have all your financial tools. You may have a card credential, you may have your bank account, you may have your store value funds directly in the same container. And that will continue to be a very important aspect of a very consumer-centric value proposition. Instead of having, your checking account here, your credit card in another wallet, or you name it, any financial condition coming to all your financial needs into a single user experience. And from there, the ability to use it, anywhere you want, but also in the way you want it. We believe the ability to apply more artificial intelligence to these wallets will create smart wallets, meaning they will be able to tell you, in this merchant, you should use this credential or you should use this payment method because you're getting the best out of these financial transactions, or advising you all the time, permanently, in the best way to manage your money. That is coming. I believe the emergence of smart wallets is 1 or 2 years from now, and they will continue to apply more machine learning and artificial intelligence to the protocols and to the way they offer these transactions to the consumers. So that will become an amazing, powerful financial tool for every consumer, and whoever is offering this type of solutions will remain relevant in the space of payments and money movement. The other thing is that wallets have the ability to transition seamlessly from payments to money movement transactions. Right now, there is a lot of specialization in multiple wallets and in multiple financial instruments, but having every single, payment utility in one container will provide tremendous value to consumers, to merchants, and to the rest of the payment ecosystem.
How do you think this is going to influence competition? You spoke of competition and creating a very vibrant mobile wallet ecosystem on a global scale. You've got big tech wallets, you've got lots of other wallets that are being, popularized for cross-border purposes. Does this make the domestic wallet a challenger to these existing big tech wallets that are currently cross-border? How do you see the competitive landscape changing?
Well, we believe the emergence of real-time payments at the domestic environment are, a larger competitor for, big payment schemes than the wallet per se, because the wallet is a multi-rail capability, and it can operate in a card scheme, it can operate in a local RTP, or it can operate in a global, network. So I will say the expansion of network optionality is growing exponentially during the next 5 to 10 years. And we want to be there for the wallet's point of view, and facilitate this type of connectivity for the wallet's containers that are out there. We do believe that wallets in the last 10 years have become a real option for payments, and the ability for the wallets to reach on-bank populations is a very important aspect of wallets growth. We believe that in the 2.1, 2.5 billion wallets that we are serving, our own estimates, we believe there are roughly 600 to 700 million individuals who for whom the only connectivity to the financial world or the digital world are these wallets.
Yeah.
They do not have a bank account, and they do not have a credit card or a debit card. So, it is an important need. As everything, most of these wallets grew in multiple technology environments.
Yeah.
And so it's normal at this stage in the evolution of wallets that we have a lot of fragmentation in terms of operating models, economic models, technology, etc. We are in the very early days. This is a decade in the making.
Sure.
We are in the very early days of wallets to become a very global phenomenon. Today, they are mainly regional or domestic, financial tools.
But they are about, use the word container. I agree, it's a container. And for the populations you describe, it's a container that is about payment, making payments, receiving payments, but it is much more than that. It is about assembling things that provide access, whether it's identity, whether it's a payment device, whether it's managing, money through a stored value account. So it becomes more than just payment. And for many of the mobile wallet holders that you describe, it is their digital passport to living in a digital world.
That's absolutely true. And that is true for consumers. It is true for small companies. Today, if it's a small company doesn't have the access to, an e-commerce environment, they are completely outside of the digital commerce. And that is happening almost everywhere in the world. So we will see more and more wallets coming directly to SMEs and empowering these SMEs to participate in the digital economy. It is fragmented and it is the early days, but in the same way that there is a significant number of merchants and small commerce and micro merchants who are not connected to a payment ecosystem or a digital ecosystem today. That is an area of big development and big thinking almost everywhere. How you're going to bring more merchants into the digital commerce.
Have you had your first meeting?
We continue to have
it's an ongoing series of meetings.
Yes, we continue to have all those meetings. It's an important aspect of growing the business, is understanding, the role that we can play to solve for major pain points. And again, we are not prescriptive in the technology. We are not looking for problems. out there. You know, we are trying to understand, I mean, the solutions that we can actually help and enable to solve for our partners, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking to address the frictions that keep these wallets from being the utility that their users want. I mean, to your point, I thought it was brilliant actually that you can your card can go anywhere, but software can't when it comes to engaging in commerce. And I think that that's certainly an important aspect of the vision and what the council's purpose is all about. Well, Ruben, really smart initiative. Wish you lots of success with it. I'm sure it will be successful. Look forward to staying in touch as the council's work evolves and we start to see some of those milestones being achieved.
We'll keep you posted, Karen, as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Good to see you.